the bus pulls up. Haleigh, again, was the first one off the bus, Austin right behind her, because they were the littlest.
Happy? How does she look?
I'm sorry?
How does she look? How does she act?
Misty?
Yeah, no, Haleigh.
She looked fine. Seemed normal.
Happy,
totally normal.
Happy, skipping, and smiling.
I tell you, I never seen any kind of anything. I even told the FBI this. Anytime that I've seen Haleigh and her together, she'd give her a kiss before she got on the bus. When she got off, it was basically if they walked up the road together, they all walked holding hands. There was affection in that part to where, to me, I can't, I can't not tell the truth on that.
Sure.
Definitely obvious affection in that, to where it blows my mind to think that, if there's something there that went wrong. But,
so that day, here we are. So Haleigh gets off the bus. Now, Misty, is she in a good mood? Is she relaxed? Is she calm? What's her mood?
To me, she seemed kind of, I'm not one to judge character on somebody, but if I were to judge a character, I don't know her that well. But I'd say she looked a little drawn out. Like a little stressed.
Stressed, irritable.
Yeah, like a little stressed. She was always a quiet person. Like she didn't really bring her business out or anything like that. Like if she went to the bus stop, she would just say hi and bye to the kids. Leave it at that. She wouldn't sit and associate with anybody as far as talking to them, unless she brought somebody with her to walk down. Then they were talking. But as far as to talk to anybody around there, she never talked to us, because I believe Ronald let them know that I was the DCF guy's son. So I think, honestly, Ronald thought, because I was his son, he thought he had DCF in the bag. But what he thinks I can possibly do for him, I don't work there. I can't do nothing. But my father's job is his job, and, I don't interfere with any part of anything like that. Because, that's a guy's livelihood. You don't go messing with somebody's livelihood.
No.
It took some years to get that done.
Sure. So here you are, and here's Misty, and so she's drawn out, and the boys get off the bus, and they run off. What is she yelling at them, or what to get in?
No. She didn't even get out of the vehicle. She opened the door to the van. I guess it has the electric buttons. The door open, and the kids got in, and she's always the first one to go. So once the kids got in, she goes, I have to sit there and wait for another bus. So basically, she went and left, and...
Well, so she was yelling at them to get on the bus, right? Did she seem... no?
She wasn't yelling at anybody. She was
for the boys to get in the bus? No, to get into her van, I mean.
She was getting on to the little boys that were jumping around inside the van.
I see.
That's what I believe was making her irritable. And the look on her face, if I had to look at her face to remember it right now, I'd say... looked a little drawn out. To me, I always thought, and Stephanie, I always thought that she was on drugs. I don't know, if that's just something out here, but I would say 5 out of 10 of the teenagers around here, the kids that age, are mixed into something or doing something. And whether it's from the pills or the pot or whatever else, it's just a growing epidemic out here with these kids that age. It's just unbelievable. I don't know if it's the age of, the crack addiction children that were from the 80s that are getting to be that age now that are acting out. I have no idea. But to me, she seemed irritable, and she seemed a little drawn out.
So it could be a drug. She's coming down off the cocaine weekend.
From hearing the comments from the car that pulled up, she was complaining about getting some bad shit. Didn't mention what kind of shit, but the people that were in the car, I believe that they took off because she either was accusing them of giving her the bad shit or their connection or whatever. I don't know, but it seemed like really quick where she made that comment, and they seemed disturbed, and they left, and they went, the same like back towards Misty's house. But then the bus pulled up probably about 2 to 3 minutes later.
Was Lindsay in that car?
Lindsay was in the red car with, I'm not quite sure who the guy was.
No, but she was in the car where they were talking about the bad shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And basically a couple minutes after that, the bus had pulled up. Haleigh and Austin had come out, and she was right there at the window down and opened the door from the inside because it was an electric door, I believe. And they had hopped in, door closed, and that was the last time anybody's ever seen them.
And
I've seen Austin get on the bus and everything, but that was the last time anybody at our bus stop has ever seen Haleigh.
What did the FBI tell you when you told them the story?
They told me I was one of the last of 4 people to ever see her alive, which put a lot of stress on me. That tore me up.
Who else did they tell you?
As far as what?
Who saw her besides you? Did they?
Well, I and Stephanie that actually come forward. Everybody else doesn't want to talk about nothing.
Really?
I mean, it's just, there's so much talk about this guy being connected with some sort of Mexican mafia deal and all that. And you know what? There's a little baby's life at stake. I got children's lives at stake when I have to put myself on camera to mention stuff. But, I know, not that I know, but I really do feel this is some kind of inside job. I mean, I mean that's just the consensus around here, is that this guy, is basically. And, from what I understood, like with my interview with the FBI and all that, and I had made the comment with the FBI, why do you guys let this guy think that, he's cleared and all this stuff? And he looked at me and he says, well, you're doing a good job. I was like, well, what do you mean? He says, when I say that to you, I leave that pretty vague, right? I said, yeah. He says, well, that's what we're doing. You're doing a good job. They're mistaken we're doing a good job by the FBI and all that as, oh, we're clear. I mean, because they're giving them rope, but they don't realize that they're being patronized by the actual people that are, looking into all this. That when they're saying Misty and Ronald are clear and all that, they're not clear. It's just a, sleight of hand. We're making you feel like you're cleared so you got enough rope to hang yourself. And that's what I know they're doing that for a fact. Because that was told to me that, if I tell you, you did a great job. And basically when I was given what I'm telling you right now, when I was giving this information to the FBI and all that, I mean, there must have been about 7 or 8 people from different bureaus and all that. Everybody sitting there with their notepads hanging on every word, and then once I said something about the bus stop incident where he almost hit us, everybody just lit up. I was like, now we know why this happened. Now, I mean, and they were filling in timelines with everything I was saying. They're like, well, you really shouldn't tell anybody this, but being you told us and made the report to us first, if somebody asks something, we can't not tell you to say anything, but you could be pulled in if this goes a different route. Obviously what they're trying to tell me is if these guys are guilty of something or whatever, I could be drawn in as a witness and everything else.
That's okay.
And, to me, if it delivers justice, I'm there. If it puts myself in risk, I got to really weigh those options.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm not, as much as I want to put closure to all this like everybody else, I never felt that my information really would have any kind of substance with it.
Well, if he's in a